Hello again, and welcome to the Wiffle Wednesday Live Chat, episode 15. I've been doing this for 15 weeks, which is kind of crazy. I think I listened to Bo over at 1 Million Cubs, and he started doing his daily, and his first few shows were like 7, 8, 9 minutes of similar, like, talk to the camera, react to the chat, talk about your business type system. And he's at like 1,600 episodes. And I thought about that the other day. Like, could I do this for 1,600 episodes? And I don't know where the angle should be. I'm not convinced the answer is no. He did every day for like 2 years, 3 years. And it was some before, some after, where he's like spacing it out. I don't know if I could go every single day for that long, but I do think that I could like do this more often than I am right now, just talking about the business, because I find myself like reflecting in my head a lot. And when I do talk about it with other people, I kind of get on tangents where I'm just like, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. I think I'm just a big nerd when it comes to cards. So, unregrettably, I enjoy it more than I can actually put into words. So, if you guys have enjoyed this, I appreciate you. Even if you don't enjoy it, but you still watch, I appreciate that as well. Thank you. It just feels good to be able to like talk about what I enjoy, and it's not just about like making money or the idea of trying to sell cards. It's like running a business, interacting so closely with the thing that I love, which is baseball, of course, and like watching it and being able to react to that in a way that, like, I don't know, it's just so interesting. The fact that like baseball cards can be a business is still a childhood dream of mine come true, and I'm enjoying spending the time doing this and talking about it. So I'm going to keep talking about it, and I appreciate anyone who watches, listens, likes, comments, subscribes, the entire list of everything that you can do for me, with me. I appreciate it all. Ran another 3 whatnot shows since I was live last Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, Tuesday. Yeah. So since last Wednesday, I've run 3 live shows, and I ran a show on Thursday. And man, the Thursday vibes for me for whatnot shows are just off. I cannot seem to get a good footing. I think it has to do with the competition. I think there are a lot of people that stream on for Thursdays because it's a day that makes sense for a lot of people. They assume more people are going to be online, and that might be true. But for me personally, I'm having a hard time getting anyone outside of the normal, like, new buyer group. I think last Thursday I had 41 different packages or different buyers, and only 7 were new. That ratio sounds off, but it was close to that. And those numbers, like, that is really, really tough. That is, while I'm appreciative of the people that are there all the time, and there are people that show up to every show. I don't know how they do it. They're insane. I appreciate every single one of you guys. But the amount of new people, specifically on Thursdays and only Thursdays, is almost non-existent. It's weird. I have, like, with that in mind, I think I'm going to switch up my streaming day, and I'm going to go Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday as a, like, test. I'm just going to test. I'm also going to run Thursday this week as well. Thursday's already scheduled. Thursday has the great inventory. So Thursday, if it doesn't go well, then we are definitely scrapping Thursdays, because this is good inventory. It's a good themed show, good picture, good advertisement ahead of time. So if this particular Thursday, tomorrow's show at 7:30 p.m., focusing on tops, black and white, parallels, autos, color, doesn't go well, pulling the plug on Thursdays for a minute. I might try it again in the future, or do what I did with like some of the new releases. I'll schedule an extra show in the week, and I can try to get out on Thursdays. But I've never really streamed on Fridays. I've never really tried Saturdays. So maybe I need to work those in, but my would be very similar to Thursdays. So we'll see. With all that said, aside from last Thursday, my shows in the last 2 weeks have been insane. Tons of new people, tons of chat. The amount of people watching, buying, bidding, streaming, or chatting is off the charts. The growth that I've experienced feels like nothing I've ever done on the internet before. It feels repeatable. It feels like it still feels like I'm just barely scratching the surface of what I can do, as far as what I'm actually capable of doing, not only streaming and selling cards, but how often I can stream, the inventory that I can bring to the channel, the buying capabilities that I have, and how, if I can structure this out and multiply this, I think the bell curve, as they call it, it's just straight up. and it should be fun. I'm personally excited because I'm enjoying it way more than I thought I would. Someone messaged me on Whatnot. They asked me, they're a buyer of my 3 or 4 different times, and when they do buy, they usually buy a lot. And they asked me like, "Hey, we're thinking about streaming," referencing himself and his children. And he's like, what do you suggest? What are your tips? And like, I don't really have good tips because I don't watch other people. I know what works for me. I'm still very new to this, and there's really only 2 things that I have. Number one, go fast, and then go faster than you think you should. I don't think people go fast enough when I watch other people's streams. And this is if I can't stick around and I'm interested in baseball cards, think about someone just getting into baseball cards, how short their attention probably is. So I think speed, and then even more speed. If you don't have a card for sale, you're going to lose people. There's the ability to just swipe your thumb up into a new stream to buy someone else's card. It's so accessible that if you're not keeping people's attention for an extended period of time, they're just going to scroll past. So speed. I think the cards matter. You can't just show up with all dollar box stuff. Yes, that is something that I have done, kind of do, mix in. But if you only show up with 2020 Kyle Lewis rookies, 2020 Bo Bichette rookies, 2021 Bobby Dalbec stuff, it's just not going to work. You need to have cards that people are looking for, players that people are looking for. I started making a card show video that I was going to talk about. And I think one of the things on there, or one of the slides on there, is like, what does everyone ask for? And Connor Griffin is number one. I'll get to him more later. But if you look at the top 100 prospect lists, just start with the top 20. If they're not in the top 20, you can probably sell them, but you'll have a harder time. And then the established stars, and it's really the top level: Ohtani, Witt, Gunnar Henderson, Aaron Judge, Tarek Skubal surprises me, Paul Skeens, Ellie De La Cruz. Start there. And if you can't, let's say and this is all baseball card because that's what I know. If you can't construct your card selling inventory with at least 25% of those players or that makeup of players, you're going to have a hard time unless you have a themed show centered around something else. My themed shows have worked well, but if you have a vintage show, that's great, but you still need to have vintage stars. You need to have good cards. You can't just show up with like 1974 tops and just be like, all right, I'm going to run all the comments from 74 tops. I think in order to do that, you probably could, but you need to have an established following to make that type of show work. So speed and good cards at a quick pace, I think, is the only thing that works. At least for me. I see other people that they do the screaming thing. They tell the chat to set a max. I saw a show the other day because I still scroll through. I haven't bought anything in a couple months. And I do look at what other people are doing, and it still annoys me, is what I would say. I'm running the show that I wish I could bid on. And I've always been that way. When I did breaks, that's how I operated breaks. I was always the breaker I wanted to buy into a break of. Shows every card, talks slowly, doesn't just rip through the base and goes to the hits. Actually like knows baseball cards. That stuff was important to me when I would be in a break or watch a break. So that's the breaker I was. Now think about it. What's the best kind of stream? Someone who has good cards and they go through it quickly. So even if it's a card you're not interested in, it sells and then you're on to the next. It's pretty cool. And also, I don't want someone screaming at me. I don't want someone telling me how much something is worth. I still catch myself doing that where I tell you how much I paid or things like that. I would one day like to get to the point where I don't say that, because I absolutely take losses on a nightly basis. I take losses on cards, especially the bigger cards. I'm perfectly fine with it because I want those people to come back. I want to build a trustworthy and integrity based business. I just want to just be honest with people, and I'm perfectly fine taking a loss because those people will come back. The ability to know what else I can fill in those losses with will continue to build eat up that margin and take that away, take the losses away with no issue. So I'm not overly worried about taking a $7 loss in a $60 card because it's going to happen over and over and over again, and I'll make up the difference on the better stuff that I buy, because I'm a dollar box hound. I will look at every single card in a dollar box. If I find one card worth buying, there's a chance I'm going to stay and look at every single card. And I think that is something that I have that most people don't, the ability and desire to look at every single card, because there are sometimes where I find 6 cards out of a a 4-row box, and yeah, those 6 cards, they're probably pretty good if I'm buying them. Skip, you gotta represent Philly. It's the City Connect with the cracked Liberty Bell. It doesn't get any better than this. I back to just like whatnot in general. I think also the ability to fill wants and requests is important, but it's more important to do it quickly. If someone comes in and they ask for Bobby Witt, if you explain to them, hey, I have some Bobby Witt cards, they're going to run in 20 minutes or whatever, which I literally did last night, those people are probably going to leave. And that's fine. But if someone comes in and they request just an outlandish name, like Jock Peterson is one that I have quite a bit, then I'm going to sell a Jock Peterson card at that moment, because they're probably only there to look for Jock Peterson cards. And if it's not there, they're going to leave. So if I say, hey, yeah, I got a Jock Peterson's coming up in 20 cards, they're going to leave. And then when I do run that Jock Peterson, it's not going to sell. Or if it does, it's going to sell for likely the minimum bid. A Bobby Witt card, there's pretty much always going to be someone interested in Bobby Witt. So the ability to fulfill very specific requests very quickly, that will compound. The ability to fulfill like even bigger insert requests like home fields, all aces. If you have those on deck, ready to go, ready to roll, that will also compound, because people can come in, they can request big cards. There's already people in the stream. It's going to move quickly. So I'm not an expert. I've been streaming on whatnot, let's see, since October 7th. I am no expert. I'm still learning. I don't even know what days of the week work, so don't listen to me. But for the people that have asked, since October 7th, so that is 12, 16, 20 weeks. I mean, literally, I've been on whatnot 20 weeks. I don't know any better. I try to be the streamer that I want to see, period. Go quick, good cards. The other thing I put on the thumbnail was Stadium Club. I forget exactly what I called it. Stadium Club reality check. I made a video about Stadium Club being mega boxes being of value as far as Stadium Club goes. And what I did not know at the time is that Stadium Club was going to suck. Stadium Club, they got rid of image variations. They got rid of Chrome, which when I made that video, Chrome was advertised on the box. So thanks, Tops. They got rid of image variations, Chrome, gold minted, design variations, which were some of my favorite cards. So Stadium Club was just stripped down, wiped out. So the rip was not good. The product was not good. Stadium Club sucks. However, it is one of the most stress-free, successful rip and flips I've ever had. I knew my exact plan going in, and I was able to execute it because I knew that the window was short. I had to build sets. That's all there was to it. The mega boxes were 18 packs with 8 cards per. I think that's 144. Yeah, it's 144. 144 cards per box of Stadium Club. 1 to 2 of those was an insert or a parallel. So even at 6.5 cards per pack, this math I have to do. 6.5 times 18 times 40 boxes. I had 4,680 likely base cards of Stadium Club. And I knew that I had to flip those quick, because if I'm doing a 200 card set, it used to be 300, then I could likely put together 23 total sets. And by the way, the duplicates were very limited. I was able to put together 21 sets, 2 master sets, and then 19. I actually could have put together more, but I didn't. I listed a few base. So those 23 sets, master sets included, made the gross sales from those sets alone made up 90% of my cost. I was into those boxes $2,000, $1,000 per case, $50 mega box times $20,000 per case. I made back 90%, over $1,800 on just sets. The issue was I knew sets were going to be easy to make. If you open 2 mega boxes, you were probably able to make a set. So I had to sort, list, and ship at just as quick as I could. So I got my cases Wednesday. I was live at 12. At 12:30, they were sitting outside. I had to run to the post office, so I got to ripping at 1 o'clock. Stadium Club was such a boring rip. It got to the point where I was just ripping packs, setting the stack down, setting it down, and then flipping through earlier. I missed a Shohei Ohtani parallel doing that, so whoops. But I just knew that the only way to make it work was to flip through there. So when I did that, I started sorting my sets right away. I got to crushing. And I had listed as 2 master sets and 2 or 10 base sets because I knew I was going to be able to make at least 10 within a few hours of me having the cards. And then I listed those. The master sets I sold for $300 and $275. It's a 300 card master set, 4 insert sets, and then a 200 card base set. I probably could have listed for more. I was the first to list those. There was someone that listed one for $900, but they had included beam teams in their set checklist. Beam teams were case hit. I don't think $900 was realistic in any way, shape, or form. And I wasn't interested in getting $900 for the set. It wasn't worth $900. I thought $300 was $100 for the base set and then $2 per insert, $300. I probably could have listed at $400 and taken any offer above $3 and made a couple more dollars, but I was not interested in trying to squeeze out a couple more dollars. I was interested in wiping my hands of the sets. So I was able to get rid of 2 master sets for $575, and then I sold 19 sets. And I listed 10 at the time, and I sold 1 at 90. I think I sold 1 more at 100. I listed them at 100 to start. And then I slowly lowered the price as other people started listing their sets. They would undercut me. I would undercut them. It's a literal race to the bottom. But the reality of what the set was valued at was they're still valued too high, even when I got down to what my floor ended up being, which was $50. So I sold 19 sets anywhere from 100 down to 50 and literally everything in between because I was trying to undercut people because I knew the value of selling those sets was just going to be massive and shrink it quickly. So I got the sets listed. I got them sold. I know that the race to the bottom is not a good way to run a business, but for this product specifically, it is what I thought. It was the only way I thought it could work because the rest of the rip was so bad. So I made back, it was gross net, probably closer to like $1,500, but 75% of my cost back in just sets, and that's back into my pocket immediately. This was done within 3 days. Then I had singles that I sold on Whatnot did well. I pulled 360 light blue parallels, and I listed those at $3 each and above. I looked yesterday, and I had 196 2025 Stadium Club sales. Some of those were multi-card orders. Some of those were the sets. Some of them were parallels. Some of them were base. So even if we say 100 of those were light blue and sepia parallels, it was anywhere from another 300 to 500 in just the guaranteed parallels. It was more than that because the $3 is the floor. Ohtani was a $15 card. Judge was $8. Kurtz was $10. Skeens was $7. And I sold 2 copies of each. I literally pulled 360 blue parallels plus 80 sepias. So well over 400 cards in parallels. And then I had only a few numbered cards. The base are still selling decently for me. I've probably sold 40 or 50 base. The multi-card orders, what's it called? Multiply your numbers for sure. So all in all, Stadium Club, in a very short period of time, it has been 1 week. I've turned it over. I still have, a decent amount of stuff in the store, and I'm well into the green on that. So Stadium Club, while not a good rip on a box for box basis, in really, really quick rip and flip, it was good. With that said, Heritage presale came out yesterday. 2 days ago. Was it yesterday? 2 days ago now. It was the 23rd on Monday. And I had told myself I was pretty much done on rip and flips. And then Topps put out mega boxes again. The mega boxes for Topps Heritage are 8 cards per pack, 17 packs per box. That means I'm going to have 136 cards per box, again at $50 a box, and a case is 2,720 cards. I'm just going to do it again. I'm going to run the exact same formula where I'm going to focus on sets first. I'm going to get them up as quick as I can, and then hopefully turn them over and race to the bottom on the sets and have them gone by the weekend. That comes out let's see, what was the date on that? March 18th. Yeah, March 18th. So in 3 weeks from today, we'll have Heritage, and I'm going to try and do the same thing, a little rip and flip, save some of the stuff that I like for myself, do some inserts on Whatnot, some inserts on eBay, and then hopefully, hit a nice card or two, and we're really making some ground up. And a lot of people tell me it's not worth my time. You're probably not making a good hourly rate doing that. And that to those people, I would say you're 100% right. And also, I don't care. I truly enjoy sorting baseball cards, opening baseball cards, having the chance at a big hit, pulling a cool card. So I see these people post on Twitter and Instagram and Reddit and Blowout and wherever else they're posting that they hit an all aces out of a single hanger pack. And, the Ohtani all aces is like a $400 or $4,000 card. So I see those people. Trust me, that can happen. It has happened to me in a similar product. I pulled an Ohtani 1-of-1 auto from an online exclusive. So trust me, I know that the time to rip and flip Heritage probably isn't worth it. My hourly rate is not good, but you take enough at bats at that, $5, $6, $8, $20 an hour rip and flips, you eventually run into a home run. And I've done that a few times, and I've been able to rip and flip, and with the leftovers or cards that don't immediately sell and turn me into profit, that does fund and fill my eBay store. I have a 52,000 item eBay store that is essentially because of ripping and flipping since 2013, and being able to list the inserts and some hits and sell some of those hits at release 2 years later, 2 weeks later. It's just all part of the business and the process, and I truly enjoy it. And a lot of people, I started posting more like short form content about how I'm doing it and how I'm ripping and stuff. People love to tell me how it doesn't work, how there's no way I'm making money. And I just laugh, because if you've been doing it as long as I have and you're able to turn over these products quickly, there's definitely an avenue to continue to do it. And I'm looking forward to it again. I thought I was going to take a break on ripping and flipping, and then I looked at the Heritage math, and it all lines up. It does look. Speaking of Heritage, by the way, don't get too excited. It does look to me like they have gotten rid of short prints, and short prints in Heritage always gave you this very, very safe floor. It appears the box does say short printed base cards, but they've already released a checklist for Heritage, and it shows cards 1 through 400. There's no mention of short prints. It talks about all the hits. It talks about inserts. It talks about the rest of the 400 card checklist. There is no mention of short prints. So it looks to me like short prints from Heritage no longer are going to be in there in the 2026 product. It's everything else looks relatively the same. You're still going to get one hit per box. It's going to be a Clubhouse Collection Relic or a Real One Auto. The chromes are similar to the 2025 design. They're not numbered. The refractors are not numbered. And then they're doing a traditional blue, green, gold, orange, red, and super refractor chrome parallels. There might be one more that I'm forgetting. Let's see. I can look at the checklist there or the overview description. I don't see it on here, but yeah, I mean, it's the same thing that they did, the just the serial numbered chromes, blue refractors, and down. So that I think I forgot greens maybe did 99. It doesn't matter. So yeah, it looks like they got rid of short prints. It looks like it'll be a 400 card base set, which I thought was going to be a bigger deal than it is. Reading through the blowout thread, there are people who build the Heritage set regularly that said they're okay with it. I think it comes from the ability that now if you open a case of 2026 Topps Heritage, you'll be able to build a full set. In the past, when they made the 100 card short print checklist at the end, you could not build a full set from a full case of Heritage because you're only going to pull 96 short prints. So if you have a 100 card checklist, the possibility is to pull 96 different. You're never going to get there. And most of the times you were pulling duplicates, at least for me. So that is gone. And then the retail mega boxes will have red paper and then silver sparkle parallels. Blaster boxes will have a different exclusive, and then hobby will have a different exclusive. So very similar. We'll have some new rookies in there. That part is exciting. Heritage itself is usually a pretty boring rip because most of the time you're looking at they did lower the packs per box on hobby. Again, this is why I lean towards a mega. It's going to be 20 packs per box in a hobby box. And the mega is going to be 17 packs, again, for $50 versus the hobby box, which I think was $120. They're sold out of hobby boxes, so I have to look at my order because I ordered one hobby box to do a rip video. Let's see if it shows me the info. So it was 110. 110 for a hobby box, and you're getting 160 cards versus a mega box where you're getting 136 cards for $50. The value again makes sense. So I'm excited to let that rip again. I did the math at 2,700 cards. I should be able to put together 6 sets if it's perfectly allocated, and 6 sets. Usually opening day Heritage, even without the short prints, the 400 card set used to be $100 set, and then slowly it works down. So if I can, let's say I get all 6 sets at $75 per, it's a pretty strong start. $450 back immediately. I'll be able to list the inserts, parallels, hits, and any extra base on my eBay store, as well as run some whatnot stuff. So that should be fun. It should be, it probably won't be a huge home run, but it will be a money-making venture. And also, when I see a new product and I get to open it and I get to look at the cards, feel the cards, see the hit rates, it's a learning experience that I kind of lock away and then can look for those cards when I'm in dollar boxes, the cards that sneak through value-wise, short prints. Like there's image variations. There's a couple different short prints that they've made, or parallels and different things that I can look for. And opening a pack and seeing those cards always helps me identify them later. So that's a like value from opening and ripping that I can't put into an actual monetary value, but trust me, it is valuable. It worked very, very well for Heritage High Number. The short prints, knowing that they were only 2 per box versus previously 6, and then even before that 8 per box, knowing that there were only 2 per box, I opened an entire case and I was not able to put together a master set. I had 24 of the 25 short prints. Knowing that I could go to card shows and find those in dollar boxes, in $5 boxes, it made a big deal. Knowing that there's going to be a ton of people looking for those short prints to complete sets gave me an upper hand and provided more value than I expected from again, a pretty bad rip, but I did okay on it. Spring trading hype is happening. It is very real. Connor Griffin hit 2 home runs yesterday. He's already the number 1 prospect in baseball. And the Pirates have said that they are 100% allowing him to compete for the starting shortstop job. Then he went out and hit 2 home runs. His stuff, Josh had a great mix of his stuff last night in his show. I want to say he had 8 or 9 inserts or chrome or even a paper base. Paper base did well. Paper non-first base did well. There were 7 or 8 cards. They averaged $8 per card. Those inserts I've seen in 100, well, I shouldn't say 100 different shows, at 20 different shows in dollar boxes, in $2 boxes. Connor Griffin stuff exploded. I'm going to be looking for his stuff this weekend. It'll be tough because I know I've been looking for it for weeks already, but now I'll be even more inclined to buy it, even at inflated prices at $5 boxes, $6 boxes, and like compound that with how much they were selling for. I was able to sell one every 15 cards or so because someone would come in and request them, so I'd run one. I think last night in a hour and 20-minute show, people came in and requested Connor Griffin cards over 20 times. He was by far the most requested player. Him and Roman Anthony, just top of the list. No one requested anywhere near the 2 of them. And he will be my number 1 target this weekend. So far to the point that there is a shop that is about an hour away from me. It actually might be longer. Now I want to look to see how far away it actually is that I might go to today to go hit up their dollar boxes. 55 minutes. So I might take the trip to the card spot in Worcester. I think it's technically Lodi. It's Lodi at the old Lodi Outlet Mall for any of my Ohio people. I might hit that up and hit up their $5 value boxes to see if there's any Connor Griffin hiding. They had a trade night on Friday that I wasn't able to go to, but they've been closed Monday and Tuesday. So if I head there today, probably get fresh pickings of the last few days. Could be a fun one. Yeah. So if you have any stuff from 2024 Bowman Draft and up of any 2024, 2025 Bowman products, and you're looking to sell baseball cards, go look for Connor Griffin. Just throw them up $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10 per card. And that's only the inserts. If you have a first chrome, I don't even know. Now I need to know. What are they going for? 2024 Bowman Draft. Let's see if I can actually spell Connor Griffin. It's time to sell. If you haven't sold, it's time to sell. Last first base chrome did 30. The one before that, 30. A paper just did 10. A refractor just did 120. Oh my, that's more than I thought. A refractor at a PSA 10 just did 350. Another refractor at 100. A sapphire at 192.50. my mind is blown. That's even more than I expected. Connor Griffin, I think, is just the first one to go off this spring. Carlos Lagrange, pitcher for the Yankees, is on the list. Bryce Eldridge, I think, is coming. I was looking at a spring training hype thread. Yeah, it's pretty much just talking about Connor Griffin. So he's the guy right now. If you're looking to sell, now's the time. And that's someone at the door. I think I'm going to end it there anyway. It's at 31 minutes. Guys, I appreciate you. We'll see you next time. Until then, bye.